Hello, Taurus, and welcome to your January 2025 forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. We have Apollo behind us, chilling out. As you can tell, he's recovering nicely, and I'm feeling so much better too. So thanks for that extra time to recover. Let's go ahead and get into the forecast today. As always, we'll be looking ahead and giving you all of the guidelines for high points, challenges, and everything in between. I'd like to get started with channeled messages first. We're well into the new year now, but what I was looking at in dreams reminded me a lot of a holiday classic, A Christmas Carol, which most of us have either read or seen. But in case you haven't, it's basically a story about somebody who gets a second chance in their life to do better. And they get to, basically there's visitations by ghosts, and they show them, what had happened, what's happening, and what's about to happen. Now, what I saw in dreams and meditation was a little bit different. It was somebody in life review. So life review is something that each soul goes through after its lifetime on the planet. And basically, it's a moment where we kind of judge ourselves. We give ourselves a report card. And what I saw was one person wishing that they had changed certain things. So Spirit basically woke me up this morning saying life is too short for regret. Make the most of today. And yes, just like that story, A Christmas Carol, lead with humility, with kindness, with empathy for yourself and for others. I was looking at two particular things that stood out when I was watching this one person's life review. One was just wishing that they had made room for more love in their life. And we're not talking just about relationships. I just highlighted Apollo. It could be loving your pet, or your children. It could be putting love and passion into a project, something that you can make a difference in. Whatever love looks like for you, make some room for it, right? And including just loving and accepting yourself. So that was message number one. The other message was if there's something that you've always wanted to try, like taking a risk, taking a leap of faith, January is the time to take at least a first step in that direction. Because I don't like to use the phrase life is short, but it is finite. We don't know how many days, years, or months we have on the planet. Hopefully it's many decades for all of us that are watching, but why don't we live each day like this was the last so that we're not going to go to sleep with anger, resentment, or regret? That way we are guaranteed in our life review that we can march into that sort of energy and that setting and say, I did the best I could. I feel good. I feel happy. No regrets. So I'm going to use the Last Unicorn deck because we need a little magic. And I want to see how we can help you get past blocks, creative or personal, how you can get a little bit more love in your life, and how you can live without that energy of potential regret. Okay, let's get started. Let's take a couple of moments here to clear our minds. Imagine, if you will, there's a full moon overhead. Beautiful silver moonlight is creating this circle of light around your body. In that circle, you are safe and protected and connected to Source. Let's call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters and begin. Let's begin with your catalyst. So the catalyst basically helps you create necessary change in your life. And the message around this is to really focus on stability. This can be emotional stability. We might be looking at finances as well. And if there's anything that is destabilizing in your life, could be a relationship or an environment, this is a month where basically enough is enough, right? You're prioritizing things that make you feel supported. And it's interesting that we have fall on this particular card here because, I feel like for some of us, it's just about letting the pieces fall into place because I don't think we're looking at a season here. So when you've done the initial setup, sometimes there is this struggle in believing that it's going to be okay. And I really do feel like you're at a precipice right now for things to come together. So let the pieces fall where they will, let the cards fall where they may, and let's start to sort out what's coming through for you over January. I like that we have 10 of Pentacles at the center. This is a foundational card. I'll pull the traditional one as well just to compare it, but this is checking that sort of message around, is it stable? Is it what I'm looking for? Can I build on this? Some of you need some rest, and it's preparing you for this moment of coming into your power because the Hermit becomes the star. You're getting set up here for success, which is great. And ultimately, it's pretty good. Not a lot of challenging cards, a couple of reversals, but overall, the cards look pretty good. So let's begin with the 10 of Pentacles in the middle. We have a beautiful 10 of Pentacles at the center, and of course, this represents for many of you stepping up to a next level when it comes to a relationship, a job, an opportunity, even wealth. But when the card is reversed, it can be pressure. There are two people on this card, someone very young, someone very old. And this is representing changes in the ways that we approach the world when it comes to generations. That generational element is still present here. We have the old person here, and then the younger people on the other side. So when this card is reversed, it can be familial pressure coming from parents, grandparents, and elders in not even just the family, but maybe even the community that are either casting doubt or judgment or trying to push you into a certain path because they think it's right. So the first thing that I want to impart on all of the Taurus folks that are listening is you do you. You know your life best. And there does come a point with parents, grandparents, elders where sometimes we have to create some space and distance. You can still respect them, but you can respectfully disagree if you need to. Don't rush into a major contract or decision like buying a house, signing on the dotted line when it comes to a marriage or any sort of contract, just because it's something that someone else wants you to do. It has to feel right for you. That is the sort of end-all be-all. And it's not about being selfish. It's about realizing this is a contract. I need to be able to follow through on that. So, there may be a face-to-face conversation with someone that you respect or love, just where you say thanks, but no thanks. There could also be a surprise. Things could be happening faster. 10 of Pentacles in reverse could be an offer or opportunity that comes when you didn't expect it, but guess what? You're ready because these cards only come through when the universe sees that, hey, this could be good for you. So one thing that we're getting past is the inner saboteur, which might be saying, I'm not worth it. I'm not ready. This can't happen. It's happening. It's just a matter of you feeling this out and making sure you're doing it because you want to do it, not because of external pressures, and then letting go of any sort of fear or anxiety once that happens. Because if we go back to the sort of channeled messages, which reminded me of A Christmas Carol, we don't want to live life with regrets. So it's worth giving it a shot. You never know what's possible. And speaking of foundations, if we look at the traditional illustration, it's really easy to see that archway here. You're just about to step into something really exciting, and it does feel like you've done at least the energetic work. The emotional and psychological work could take a little bit more time, but you were there energetically. So that's what I'm looking at is the energy of the situation. One of the things that can help you out, feel a little bit better, not be so much in your headspace is exactly what we see on this illustration, rest. 4 of Swords lets you receive as well, receive insight. I do some of my best work when I'm asleep. That's a great quote, and that's also a great truth. I'm able to see things from a new perspective, often a very objective viewpoint, because my higher self just tells it to me like it is. Like, you better not do this, or why aren't you doing this? So I love that sort of direct energy that comes through when I sleep, because all the filters that are constantly going through my head when I'm awake, they're not there. Get a journal and keep track of your dreams. Every morning when I wake up, especially when I'm tuning in and trying to receive things for a sign, I make sure that I put it down so that I don't forget. And today was no exception. Some of you may simply have too many things going on, and the Four of Swords is saying, before you can go through that archway, that opportunity, you have to recalibrate and rest and just basically be the best version of you so that you're not stressed out, okay? You've got this, but you're possibly just a little overextended and maybe not seeing things kind of like as they truly are shaping up to be. So one last note, and then we'll move on to the next card. The Four of Swords is also a card of death or release, cutting cords basically. There may be something where you're just finally ready to say goodbye, especially, like I said, if it's something that destabilizes or takes you out of the flow of feeling creative, feeling ready, and that's the clear indication that it's time to move in a new direction. In the karmic past here, we have the King of Swords in reverse. This basically represents saying it like it is. I was talking about how dreams, for me anyway, are very to the point. I see things clearly. I mean, it's interesting that oftentimes we dream in black and white, but it helps us kind of go to the source and not have to have so much sort of confusion around something. So a King of Swords is going to speak up and say yes or no, not having to put a lot of sort of like sugarcoating. Very inquisitive, very direct. And this is energy that can help you. So if we were to just break this down into what you want to focus on right now, it's in cultivating the ability to just speak up, finding your voice, using your voice, and not waiting until something gets to the point that, you know, it's difficult or obvious. You want to initiate, conversation right at the beginning. If something isn't right, nip it in the bud. If you see something that's amazing, seize the opportunity and don't hesitate. Direct and really also very actionable. These are the takeaways here. Take action, speak up, speak early, speak often. So I'm really excited about this journey from the Hermit to the Star. And I have two traditional cards here based on Rider-Waite-Smith that really tell this story nicely. So let's look at it for a second. Have you ever noticed that there is a star in the Hermit's lantern? If you're a longtime viewer, I'm sure you have, but for those that might be new to tarot or the channel, the Hermit basically is a light in the dark. He finds the inspiration, the knowledge, the power within, especially in times where there's a challenge, right? And so this is a moment where many of you have been working on your inner strength. You're getting to know yourselves, and you may even be inspired to kind of step up and be the spotlight, because a hermit can come out of their sort of shroud and basically be the lantern there, because the star is and always will be a part of the hermit, but when you pull the shroud down, it's the star. So there's this moment, this unveiling that is on the precipice of happening. There's some stuff that needs to happen first. Some of it here, again, could be finding your voice, creating a firmer foundation in your life, getting the rest that you need. But the Hermit's coming through saying, don't forget about how much you have to offer. And at a certain point, share and shine that light on others, right? And so that's the sort of big thing that we'll be looking for here in a few moments. I love that we have, I'm using the unicorn deck. So whenever the unicorn makes an appearance, it's reminding you that what makes you unique, makes you powerful, makes you memorable, allows you to kind of stand out. The Hermit is also connected with learning. So some of you may be deciding to go a little bit deeper in your educational studies. You may really just be trying to get prepared for a presentation, or again, whenever that spotlight moment happens, you'll have done your homework. Keep doing that. That's what I'm seeing right now. In the crowning position, we have a beautiful Six of Cups. We can even see it in this illustration, though I will show the traditional in a moment, but it is about camaraderie. And even though the number 6 is in here, you normally just see two people. It can be a card of connecting with that inner child, often through a kindred spirit, a friend, a lover, a past life connection, someone with whom it just feels easy. So you're calling in that kind of higher partnership, if you will. And why? Because you have the star power, you're starting to learn what it is. You're going to step into that in a moment, and there could be someone in your life that takes notice. So whether or not you're looking to bring in a partnership, I see that. And again, when I use the word partnership, it can be friend, it could be business associate, it could be lover. And it could just also be your capacity to reach other people. So if you wanted to be in a position where you could impact the world through speaking or teaching and things of that nature, this is also nicely aligned. You may also have this sort of calling to just do more with youth or connect more with the children in your life. All of these things are present, and suffice it to say, with this being in the crowning position, it makes a lot of sense why the star card is happening. There could even be someone in your life that could be an advocate for you to help you step in and become the star. So the star represents a moment where you are authentically you. You're aligned to your path. There's like no apologies. It's basically you really just feeling like this is your moment, right? So even if you don't feel that yet, we see the key to success and how to achieve it in this traditional Rider-Waite-Smith derived card. The card is showing the star basically balancing things out and being the conduit. So there are a few cards in tarot, Temperance, the Star, the Magician, where it shows the main character channeling or balancing energies. What you can do to position yourself into the star energy is to make sure that your health is where it needs to be, your finances are where they need to be. Again, the foundations in your life that matter most are where they need to be, so you have a proper platform upon which you can shine. The star card represents success, so there could be a breakthrough for some of you. After the Tower comes the star. If you've gone through a disappointment, a breakup, a divorce, financial setback, it is not without a greater purpose. A lot of times it sets us up for the appreciation of the breakthrough energy that is the star. So we see not just a light, but a brilliant light at the end of the tunnel. And if you open yourself up to receive this month, I think there's a chance to break through whatever the block or the setback or the frustration might have been that you were experiencing in December. Let's see what you're bringing to the equation here. So you're coming through with the Knight of Swords, one of the fastest moving cards in the Minor Arcana. This means that in this moment in time, your dreams may manifest quicker than you think. Opportunities may come knocking. And again, that 10 of Pentacles that we saw at the center that was reversed could just indicate that a decision is needed. And it's needed in a quicker timeline than you originally thought you would need to make it. If we look at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, we can see that it's basically a knight charging forward. Once things get set into motion, it's kind of easy. It's almost like you're going downhill in the way that, like, if you've cycled up a hill, you can just kind of coast. So I'm seeing that coasting energy once you've done the initial sort of jump or leap. And that kind of takes us back to the beginning messages in the channeled portion where I was saying this is the month to take the leap of faith. I can see where some of you may be just feeling like, you know what, I don't want to do it. But it's worth it. Get the rest that you need and then take that initial leap. And then I start to see here this ability to break through. You've done the work, an opportunity is knocking, a decision might be needed, but you can catch up when you're ready. Now, in the environment, we have the Strength card. This represents not only someone around you, but also kind of like what you're attracting in your periphery. Now, Strength is a formidable card. It represents someone who may really want something their way. I pulled the traditional card here because I feel like this is important to look at. When it comes to any sort of contract, decision, or negotiation, you might have met your match, but again, you have the capacity here to push back. It's like attracts like. So don't be afraid to fight for what matters. The fact that this is in your environment shows me that you can get it. You just have to be willing and ready to kind of speak up. This can also represent a moment during which you really want to focus on general health and well-being. And again, we already are starting to see that for some of you, it's just a lack of sleep or rest. Now, I like that we have a bull on this one. That's a character in the movie, but we can also extrapolate that symbol and It shows that when it comes to an opportunity to be bullish, of course it's you, Taurus, right? So this is powerful. And by the way, I would say the bull is even stronger than the lion here on many levels. So you can get your way simply by pushing, persistence, perseverance, stubbornness. These are traits that are going to serve you well in overcoming any odd, okay? So I like that. It's good, and it fits the sign that I'm reading. Here's the first card that shows something that's lacking. All right, so we have the Two of Wands in reverse. Are you making time for planning? If you're not, you're cheating yourself of an opportunity for basically like this epiphany or breakthrough moment. You may also not be thinking about the long-term opportunity or options that might open up to you. So strategy is lacking, perhaps. And if you give yourself time to strategize, to dream, and to meditate, a world of opportunity starts to open up to you. And kind of on the nose, but literally he's holding the world there. And what this represents, if we look at the traditional card, is the kind of gut check that we need to take from time to time to say, all right, this is where I want to go. This is where I am. What am I doing each and every day to inch the sort of needle forward so I'm closer to that goal? Take time, recalibrate. You know, I recently had to, because I've been catching up on everything, I had a day where I thought, I got to get this video done, but I really need to meditate. And I did like an hour-long meditation, longer than I thought I would. Maybe it was even an hour and a half. Whatever. I came out of it feeling amazing, and I did the video in almost one take. It was short, it was profound, and I thought, well, that's what comes from the practice. The spiritual practice, the energetic practice that we put into making something happen. Practice makes perfect. Give yourself time to plan, to meditate, to strategize. It will pay off. You'll save time in the long run. Believe me. All right, in the outcome here, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. So there's a lot of stubborn energy, which is not necessarily bad. It's showing me that sometimes in order to achieve something, we just have to believe in ourselves and continue to push because there's no option to not complete it. And I kind of get that feeling as I'm looking at the cards. If you believe it and if you keep showing up and if you push forward, I do think that you're going to accomplish the goal at hand. Now, there's always a little bit of constructive criticism that I'll give with the Queen of Wands in reverse, which is to be open to other people's feedback, to new ideas, to a different approach. She can be a little set in her ways. So we do like the stubbornness that you can do it, but stay open to the manner in which it might happen, or even the time in which it might happen. It could happen shorter, or you might have to take a little bit more time. At the end of the day, just make sure that the quality is there and it's in alignment with your vision, whatever goal or whatever dream you're trying to accomplish. Because again, to bring it back to channeled messages, we want to make sure that at the very least you exit this month thinking, I did everything I set out to do. I have no regrets. All right, let's go ahead and expand the forecast a little bit deeper. We're going to go into health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. So once more, we have family or ancestors coming through. It says ancestral realm, and right there, karmic release, healing the lineage and boundaries. Wow, oh wow, that is perfectly aligned with the pressure that was coming forth when I said 10 of Pentacles in reverse. It can sometimes feel like a bunch of bricks that you're trying to carry. It can be grandparent, brother, sister, mother, all the family or all the community. So, and it can also be ancestral. So it can be your parents' parents' parents, things that have been going on for a while. You're breaking it. You're breaking not just the sort of tradition, but you're breaking through so you can go into this star energy. And why? Because you know yourself. So it's all coming into focus and it's all coming together. You're breaking ancestral karma. If there's been issues with addiction or finances, or possibly even relationships, whatever it is, you are stronger, you are different, and it's a different path for you. As I take a look at everything on the table, I have to say that this is overall a pretty good spread. I can still find a couple areas where you can improve though. One of them could simply be in overall balance. So the fall and stability message that came through here on this catalyst card could actually be encouragement to find balance in your life so that you can sustain all that's going on, all the opportunities that are knocking. This could also be an encouragement to take care of any sort of balance issues, whether it's an inner ear issue or there might be something more. Again, always work with a healthcare professional for any of the challenges that you might be experiencing. Quality and quantity of sleep are super important with the Four of Swords. If we don't rest, it's very difficult to be able to come back from illness, from any sort of emotional challenges that you might be going through. So focus on the balance in your life, the balance in your inner ears, and part of what needs to possibly be put into the equation is rest and meditation. There's also a general encouragement, if I put the traditional cards here, to come out of your shell. So there's a time and a place to rest, but there's something really wonderful about being able to connect with others. And this is going to help you, first and foremost, connect to some opportunities, but it might also help you bounce back if there's been a lack of time that you're able to spend with friends, family, loved ones, children. This sort of energy is in the center of the spread, and it's saying that's just as important as being successful, working hard, etc. Let's see. Because the Strength card is in the environment, there could be someone or something that's just generally testing your strength. And this is a time to focus on all the things in your life that make you strong. So sleep, exercise, diet, all the normal things that would go into being healthy. The reason we want to focus on the physical well-being is because this is the vessel that allows all of us to channel inspiration, intuition, and ultimately it's kind of like the vehicle that takes us through our lifetime. So it's really important to take care of yourself so you can get everything done that you want to. Going back to the channeled message, your health is your wealth. We'll be looking at wealth in a moment, but without this, without your body, without your mind, body, and spirit, it's not going to happen. Health is the foundation. Health is that stability. That is the most important piece, I think, this month. And it will allow everything else to come into focus. Nope, everything else looks pretty good here. So those are the main focal points. And again, I think coming out of your shell a little bit, possibly surrounding yourself with someone that is a bit of a social butterfly, an extrovert could help you get out of this because the hermit is very introverted. And to get you into that star, you might need someone to kind of nudge you out of it, all right? Let's move on to wealth, which is resources, life purpose, and career. We have this Atlanteans card, and if we pull it very close to the camera, it says, legacy, technology, progress, expect acceleration. Moving beyond the legacy, I think, is really important sometimes. When we think of, for those of you that work in the field of technology, a legacy system isn't always a good thing. It's something you inherit from an original sort of formation. So like, for instance, maybe if you're a department store, there's an old-fashioned way of running credit cards, but maybe it's not as secure, maybe it's not as quick as other competitors that can do, for instance, contactless or, Apple Pay, Google Pay, etc. So you have to keep up to date and update the legacy systems. It's also reminding you that you can go beyond your own familial or personal legacy and just boldly try something different. So the key thing on this one is expect acceleration and progress. So the only way forward is to really think beyond where you're at right now. So in Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities, you had the Two of Wands. That's planning. That's being a visionary and going way ahead of things. For instance, if you're a student, you might be also looking at a degree that's forward-reaching. When I was going to school, new media, it's not even called new media, it's just like something else now, but I definitely was on cutting edge sort of technology, learning how to work with the web, learning how to work with like nonlinear editing and things like that, which has served me very well. I had a hard time finding programs and teachers that could teach it, but I got what I could and I learned the rest on my own, and it's been a good foundation. Find things now that are going to help you travel into the future for several decades. And whether you already have a company, you're looking for work, or you're a student, or you're retired, there's still room for innovation, and that's the main message here. All right. Now let's go a little bit deeper into all those categories. I was kind of hinting at it right there. I'm going to shuffle the cards and take a look at what's coming through here for, first and foremost, those that have a job. Then we'll take a look at anyone that might be an entrepreneur. And then we're going to focus on job seekers, then move on to students, followed by retirees. Beginning here with those that currently have a job, the Ace of Swords is a great energy that comes forth. It represents a project or opportunity that's knocking. It also is saying, stay focused. Interestingly enough, you had as a signifier the Knight of Swords coming through, which represents rapid movement, and you can see that even better in this traditional illustration. So keeping up the pace is going to be important, and part of that is going to require you to simply say no to things that really don't they're not going to benefit from your time and energy, so that you're going to have more to give. And because we saw this exhaustion card, one of the things that you really want to focus on is making sure that you're not working yourself to that point of exhaustion. Overall, this is a chance to step up because of what's in front of you, the star, and have your elevator pitch ready is what I'm getting, especially as we look at hopes, fears, and opportunity. Basically, be ready for that synchronicity or breakout moment where someone taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, have you considered this? You can say, not only have I considered it, but here's what I'd like to do. Show that you've done the homework, show that you're ready. And even if something happens faster than you expect, you're aligned, you're ready. On an energy level, I feel like the biggest thing here is to get past a confidence issue, or maybe again, just a preference like, oh, I thought this was going to happen 2 months or 2 years from now. It looks like there's an opportunity that it's like a window. And if you don't go through this right here, right now, I'm not sure when the next one will be. So go for it. If it feels right, if it looks right, trust your intuition. You're more ready than you might think. Overall, pretty good month. The only challenge that I see in the environment for you is this strength energy, where there might be someone who, again, you've met your match when it comes to someone who's stubborn or communicative or wants to get their way. So you might have to find a common ground there. But again, your own stubbornness and hard work will take you to the finish line. For those of you that own your own company here or are an entrepreneur, we have the Moon card coming through. It's going to be really important to deal with challenges in real time and not to ignore something that sort of rears its head. And by the way, this could be a customer that's unhappy. This could be a legacy technology thing that needs to be improved. Something that's annoying is really what Spirit is showing me, but it's there and it needs to be dealt with. So be proactive. If there's any maintenance that you know you're probably due to take care of, do the preventative maintenance. Get ahead of things. That's going to help you plan for the future. The Moon is also a deeply intuitive card, and it's saying trust your instincts. It's typically when we don't do the right thing or do what we feel is necessary that challenges come through. But in customer support, if there is something going on, also, it's good PR, it's good customer service simply to address it, fix it, and move forward, okay? For job seekers, we have Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is slowing down for a moment and saying, what do I need versus what do I want when it comes to a job situation? And it's also asking you to look at what constitutes like enough and success. Because sometimes you can get paid a lot, but the cost that you're going to have to incur when it comes to your sleep, which we saw here, or your ability to spend time with the ones that you love, it may not be worth it. There may be also something where someone doesn't let you have the power, the autonomy, or the control that you're looking for. So this is taking all things into account when it comes to opportunities and making sure that you're not missing a potential way that you could be marketing or exploring certain opportunities when it comes to employment because you're just kind of doing the same old, same old. We're trying not to rinse and repeat because this is about evolution. The previous one was about breaking a cycle, especially with what your family did or what people expected you to do. So you may be at a bit of a turning point where you're saying, you know what, I think I'm going to do this instead. When you are looking for work, you can also be considering an entrepreneurial path, particularly if you've had challenges finding the right kind of work. That was something I did exactly 10 years ago. It doesn't always work for everyone. I actually thought about it 2 years before making the move. So that aligns with this. You may be thinking, all right, I need a couple of things that I might do before I'm ready for that. Maybe it's education, maybe it's a part-time job so you can, pursue some sort of training or whatever. Map it out. Figure out what not just this next job is, but the job after that job or the overarching career goal. And I've done 2 points where I pivoted, maybe 3 actually. And so it can be done. It just takes time. It takes time and planning. For everyone else, just ask for more and ask in general if you have a question, particularly at an interview. Not only with this, there's one other thing that came through with asking, which is you could do a cold application. You could reach out to someone that you used to work with or just a hiring manager and say something like this. I've noticed that your company does this, this, and this. There are some emerging technologies in this area. I have skills in this area. Are there any new opportunities that are either just about to be posted or maybe opening up soon? Sometimes you can get ahead of that. One of my best jobs happened that way. It's not a guarantee, but we're looking at changing it up. So again, self-employment, emerging technologies, cold applications, making sure that you're also getting out there and mixing and mingling with new groups of people, working the existing network, and that is going to open up new doors. Can you find something? Yes. The main thing here, though, is to make sure that the payment is worth it, that whatever kind of energy you're putting forth, the trade-off is really what I'm paying attention to on this, okay? All right, moving onward now to students. We have King of Wands. It's actually ideal for students because this represents kind of like the pinnacle of imagination or learning. The main challenge for you is to keep on track of everything and get your schedule. Be very organized. Your organization is the key to success. Not surprisingly, I see a card of exhaustion. Make sure that you are resting, that also you're looking at this, probably from the beginning of your degree if you can. The first conversation you should have with all of your advisors and teachers is, this is great. How does it apply to the real world? How is this going to help me? And have a conversation too and say, I would like to do this. Are these courses appropriate? Am I missing something? And then beyond all of that, find places where they're already thinking about new things. So again, when I was going to school, it was kind of like some of the degrees that I was seeking, it was like cutting edge. And so there was a point where I had to even like change a class because one of the teachers didn't know it, and I went to the dean and I found another teacher that was better and switched classes. So sometimes, you have to speak up because you need to get what you deserve. So much like the previous group that I was looking at with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, push for that. This is a boss card. So you are paying for the education. It should give you the foundation that you need. So do a lot of forward thinking as you enter into that. And do research in advance. Like I said, I took 2 years before even deciding to quit. So for those of you that are looking for schools, ideally that would be happening maybe in the middle of your high school career. If you're looking for grad schools, it happens halfway through your college career. But even if you can just give yourself a couple of months to immerse yourself and really do the homework, that planning, all of the visitations to the schools, that's going to pay off so that you make the best decision possible. Moving on to the retirees, there's a lot of focus on budget. Some of you have maybe made some smarter decisions on savings, maybe moved some investments around, or you're just being aware of the fact that, once you've retired, there's not a lot of ways aside from, interest on existing investments to make money. So there may even be a decision that you want to do some part-time work or some consulting. The good news with the Seven of Pentacles is whatever you put your time and energy into, I do see growth. It's about slow and steady growth, not this sort of like immediate change. And as long as you are realistic with that and you don't make a hasty decision, I think that's going to be key. You want to keep your assets open. When you're in retirement, you don't want to lock things for too many years because there may be a cost that comes up and you need to have access to those liquid investments and assets. Okay, let's move on. Now we're going to take a look at love and relationships and see what Spirit has to say. So we have protective nest. I feel like that was perfectly aligned with everything that I was just talking about for retirees. So a nest egg, the future. Also, I feel like this is exactly what we were just talking about for wealth in general, which was this sort of progress and fast-moving energy, so we have to keep up with that pace. But in short, just to break this down into something that will make sense, I really think that it's important to have a rainy day fund, a contingency fund, an extra savings account, something to kind of help you through unexpected costs and expenses. You may not need it this month or even next month, but down the line, this is going to be well worth it. And when we're looking at relationships, this can also be making sure that you put things into like a trust, that you're looking at children's college educations and your own retirement savings. So actually a little bit of wealth is bubbling into this, but that's okay. This is also about protecting the ones that you love too. All right, let's now break this down into 3 major categories. We're going to look at those that are currently in a relationship. Then we're going to focus on those that might be seeking love. And finally, those that are happily single. For those of you that are currently in a relationship, the 3 of Swords in reverse represents needing to clear the air. There may have been a recent argument. There may be things going on outside of the relationship where you're just feeling a sense of, I'm overwhelmed. And, we had that 10 of Pentacles reversed at the center. It could either be you that's unloading onto your partner, or they're kind of dumping the emotions on you. So if that's the case, it's time to slow down. We have this Knight of Swords, which is fast moving. And it's sort of like, let's take a step back for a second and make sure that we kind of separate what's going on. Is this really worth the fight, right? The other thing here is the partner may just feel like they need a little bit more attention. We have 2 different types of communication and being. The Hermit likes to keep to themselves. The Star card is happier in a group. So maybe your partner wants to go out for a date night and you're like, I just want to stay home. Isn't that why we're together? It doesn't have to be either or. There can be nights where you decide to be out in public and then they acquiesce, and there are nights that you stay at home. It's the happy medium, and we actually have that right here at the top of the spread, the 6 of Cups. So you're finding that happy point between the 2. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You may have very similar communication styles, and you kind of have, like we have 2 bulls. So you may even be dating another Taurus. If not, there's just this same sort of butting of heads that's coming forth. Make a plan. This is the other thing. Your partner may feel like, I need you to see me. So this is being in the dark, and this is the opposite. So maybe all they really need from you is acknowledgement and saying, hey, you know what? I know you've said you wanted to do such and such. Why don't we, let's get out the credit card. Let's make a plan. Let's do this. So make a plan together. That's a great way to mend the bridges, to have some communication, to kind of bring it all in. It just also feels like you guys are running around really quickly, so slowing down and being together is key there. It does look like it's solvable, but I do see, again, a little bit of frustration, maybe an argument, maybe a disagreement. So if that's happening, clear the air, and again, make sure that you're finding the middle ground, okay? If you're looking for love, it's a good time to do that. Queen of Cups, can't get much better than that. So obviously with the Star card, people may be looking at you. There also might be an Aquarius in the mix that might be interested in coming forth. Typically strength is a Leo. So there could be a Leo or an Aquarius that's in the mix. You have choices. The 2 of Wands here. You're coming through with fast-moving energy, so slow down and make sure you know what you want. There's even one more option here in a fire sign. So whenever I get so many options, it's really a question of discernment. What are you looking for? When are you looking for this? Know this, there may be also someone that's very ready to settle down in this whole mix. So I think it's a great time to get out there, but don't be surprised if things move more quickly than you expected. All right, finally, if you're single and happy, good for you. I have a card here that represents someone that just wants to work on themselves. An Empress card normally takes care of everyone else. When the card is reversed, we see her cooking for herself. Her cat is there. It may just be a night in on your own. And you know what? You feel amazing in the process. Again, that being said, there's a lot of people that are attracted to you this month, and it could be in the form of new friendships or business alliances. So Don't sell yourself short. Get out there, mix and mingle. You won't be disappointed. Finally, let's take a look at destiny. So we have the camel coming through, and I feel like this nicely connects to having that future sort of store of energy or contingency fund. But we have some other helper words on here: travel, stamina, service. So you may be sort of opening up and planning for a future trip or traveling. The stamina piece comes through when you give yourself time to rest or, again, meditate. And then the service piece connects maybe even to those of you that are single or retired and have a little bit more time and energy and are deciding to focus your sort of your efforts on something bigger. Also, this is a very apt survival card. Anything that comes your way, you can adapt. Adaptability, forward-thinking energy, a big sort of part of this reading today. Okay, let's take a look at one last question that you may have. This can be anything that I haven't yet answered that you still want some clarity on. Go ahead and position that question to the universe, and we'll pull one more card. I'm going to put it up here because I'm running out of space. All right, you got the 10 of Wands. This is a yes. Notice the fixation on time on this one, and if we look at the traditional card, sometimes the tendency to want to do too much. Let's not let either of those two things stand in the way of how close you are to completing a task or an opportunity. This is also a card of travel, and so now may be a time where a trip is necessary to bring something to the finish line. Overall, 10 of Wands shows success, completion, and getting ready for the next level, so it's a yes. All right, everyone, that was the reading for this month. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thank you for your patience. I do appreciate it. If you did enjoy this and you're brand new, like and subscribe, leave a comment no matter how long you've been watching this. I appreciate all the comments, and it really helps me understand what's impactful and what you are connecting with. You can follow me on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. I'm on new platforms like Blue Sky. NicholasAshbaugh.com is my username. That's also my website. You can get more information there. Just a quick reminder that I don't offer private readings and I don't use direct messages. So be mindful of that. Report and let me know if you see anybody that is doing that. To give back and support the channel, you can do so with super stickers, super chat, and also by becoming a member. And of course, just subscribing if you haven't done that. And that's everything, folks. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I hope you're having a great new year. I look forward to seeing you again in all of my daily, weekly, and monthly videos. Until I see you again, take care and be well.